Damn, that's nice.
Fucking.
Oh, hey. Yeah, welcome to the show. All right. It is Ringside Report. I am Dave. Freddie is here. AJ DeLesio is here.
Baby Shark Freddy, get in.
These guys are just singing the song for some reason.
Why are you singing that,
I was
AJ?
hearing it all day.
Okay. So AJ's been singing songs, so we got a lot of songs to sing here tonight on the show. Whether you're watching us here on YouTube, on the YouTube channel where you can subscribe, like the channel, and, leave a comment and all that stuff. YouTube.com/ringsidereport.net, ringsidereport.net, www.ringsidereport.net is the place to be for all your MMA, all your pro wrestling, whether it's here on TSN 690 or on the YouTube channel or on iTunes or on the various places that we are. And we've got a lot of MMA to cover here on this show. This is the MMA show. We talk about, the UFC, the Bellator, the Bagel Boss, the
Screech,
Alberto Del Rio, Tito Ortiz.
Bare knuckle boxing. Mark Hunt against Butterbean supposedly is coming up. Well, it's just a rumor right now. I think I don't think it's official, but I read that this week that Mark Hunt, Butterbean, bare knuckle boxing.
Wow, that's massive, Fred. That's huge. That is.
Let's see if it gets done, but hopefully it does.
Mark Hunt's not under UFC contract anymore?
That's strange.
I think he's gone now.
Huh. Oh. Cool. Well, that would be fun. Mark Hunt and Butterbean in a bare knuckle boxing match. We're going to cover all sorts of crazy fights tonight on the show. We're going to talk about Israel Adesanya and his beautiful knockout of Robert Whittaker. The style bender knocks him out in the second round and becomes a UFC undisputed middleweight champion. And people are comparing him to Conor McGregor. People are saying he should fight John Jones next. He's got Paulo Costa waiting in the wings as his next opponent. We're going to talk about that in just a second here. We're also going to preview UFC Tampa. Joanna Jędrzejczyk taking on Michelle Waterson in the main event of that one. We also have Cub Swanson taking on Crone Gracie in the co-main event. Mackenzie Dern making her return to the octagon after giving birth 4 months ago. She's going to be fighting again in the UFC, which is pretty impressive.
As Murray would say, for Dave, I am not the father.
But are you one that stopped following her?
No, man, I would never stop following.
Because she lost a lot of followers, supposedly.
For what?
That's pretty gross. Apparently, when she announced that she was pregnant, she lost like 20,000 followers on like Twitter or Instagram or something, which is unfortunate, But I guess there's some thirsty dudes out there, 20,000 of them that are.
Glenn, I know you're one of them.
Just sad, yeah. I don't know. I don't think I followed her to begin with.
Why not?
I don't know, because
she's like one of the best grapplers in the
she's
world.
had like 2 or 3 fights in the UFC. Like, I don't know. I'll follow her when she wins more. And
Come on, it's Mackenzie Dern. She's an ADCC champ.
We'll talk about a great fight that Bellator is putting on December 29th in Japan. Fedor Emelianenko taking on Rampage Jackson.
Yeah.
What? Are you serious?
Yeah, you didn't hear about this?
I didn't hear about that.
Oh, yeah. We're going to get to that, AJ. Pretty massive.
That is ridiculous.
Also, the artist formerly known as Alberto Del Rio, now going under the name Alberto El Patron, former WWE champion, will be fighting Tito Ortiz in a real MMA fight.
What?
More pro wrestling MMA
What's going
crossover. And if you want to add to the pro wrestling MMA crossover, former UFC heavyweight champion Cain Velasquez is now in the WWE, and he should be wrestling Brock Lesnar on the 31st of this month in Saudi Arabia.
Is that for real?
Yeah. Did you not watch SmackDown last week, AJ?
No, I was.
Well, Cain Velasquez made his WWE debut, hit a double leg takedown on Brock Lesnar, landed several punches upon him, and then sent Brock packing out of the ring, standing tall with his new buddy, Rey Mysterio. It was the duo of Cain Velasquez and Rey Mysterio taking out Brock Lesnar on SmackDown last week. So Cain is not just dipping his toe into the pro wrestling world, he's going full on, and I think we may have lost him from MMA, maybe for good, but Definitely for the time being, right? Kane has dropped out of the USADA testing pool, so he's technically, I guess, retired. That's really what you'd call it. Cain Velasquez in semi-retirement from MMA. If you're not getting tested by USADA, you're not eligible to fight. You're not in the pool. You're not,
but is it
getting drug tested on a random basis. So
how does it help your WWE career to get out of the USADA testing
pool? You can, pump your veins full of the gas.
Oh, okay.
You can get on all the
special gas.
You can get juiced. Yeah.
Not saying that's what Kane is doing right now, but hey, I'm hyped.
I don't think Kane is doing that. If you saw him on SmackDown, you would think, no, definitely not. Kane didn't look in great shape. He had a giant knee brace on his leg, and he didn't look like he was in top shape. And I think probably because, he can't do much cardio because his leg is still pretty banged up from the Ngannou fight, right?
So the thing is, he needs some juice. That's what's going to happen. Once he does a little bit of juice,
it would
special
help.
Juice.
But he's been wrestling.
Different view.
Like he's been wrestling, no, in Mexico or things like that.
Yeah, he did.
So his knee is okay.
His knee is all right.
When I saw the brace, I thought it might be more about the gimmick. They'll do that sometimes.
I'm not sure about
no,
that,
I think that's real.
Yeah.
There's no reason to gimmick his leg. Like, there's no reason for Cain Velasquez to come out and look weak. He should come out and look strong. That knee brace was because Kane's knee is pretty banged up.
As a part-time wrestling fan, because I don't consider myself like a connoisseur like you, I'm still intrigued to see how they're going to be treating this whole situation. Is Kane going to be doing the job for Brock? Is he gonna give a 1-2-3 to Brock? I doubt it. How is this storyline gonna evolve? Where is it gonna go?
Well,
Kane's Fred's excited about this. Fred's like, how's this gonna go? Who's gonna win? How's it gonna play out? I'm excited about it too, and I think a lot of MMA fans might be brought into pro wrestling because it's Cain Velasquez versus Brock Lesnar. Like AJ, you're not a pro wrestling guy, but when you hear about that, you're hyped, right?
Absolutely. And I was gonna say, if anybody could really knock the boots off of someone like Brock, it would really be Cain Velasquez. If it was an MMA fight, I'd probably give it to Cain. And I love Brock. Brock is one of my favorite fighters in the UFC, in WWE. But in reality, Cain Velasquez is the beast. And if that was toe to toe, I would give it to Cain.
So,
they fought before.
Yeah, but I'm just saying that's the thing. If anybody could beat Brock in WWE, it's gonna be Cain.
Well, I mean, it's
or
whoever,
Seth Rollins.
It's whoever.
He beat him twice.
It
happened,
scripted,
AJ.
I know it happened.
If anybody's gonna beat
he had
Brock,
a bad burrito with Brock. Maybe that's why he lost.
I love your analysis of pro wrestling. If anybody could take Brock out in WWE, it would definitely be Cain Velasquez because he beat him in the UFC. But Seth Rollins beat Brock Lesnar recently.
I know, but
Brock loses wrestling matches because it's predetermined. But there is a point to what you're saying.
About,
you are making a solid point, despite the cloud of nonsense. It's that Brock Lesnar right now, in the whole wrestling business and all of pro wrestling, is the toughest guy.
Of course.
Nobody could beat him in a real fight. Right?
Nobody. The guy doesn't eat vegetables his whole life. He's a real caveman.
Okay.
Who's gonna beat him?
Well, he's also an NC2A Division I national champion wrestler and a former UFC heavyweight champion. And there aren't that type of guy. There isn't that type of guy in pro wrestling right now other than Brock, right? There's Bobby Lashley, who's kind of close, but, he's not Brock Lesnar. There's Jake Hager, who's a Bellator heavyweight fighter who's now
good.
He's in AEW, but he's not Brock Lesnar, But Cain Velasquez, well, now here's a guy who walks into Brock's world, and we know what would happen if Cain Velasquez and Brock Lesnar fought. Cain Velasquez would throw the beatdown on Brock and beat him within a round. He beat him in under 5 minutes. So, that's something, and that's interesting for pro wrestling because up until this point, Brock's kind of been the undisputed king where no one can really mess with him, but now here's Cain to kind of put him in check.
Yeah,
it's fun.
But the thing is that Brock Lesnar has been active in WWE the whole time. He looks good. He looks in shape. Cain has looked a little bit like Freddie said, a little out of
Don't bring me on your team.
I'm not, man. I'm just telling you, Cain needs to...
I was going to go back to my point earlier where I'm interested how they're going to be booking this because I don't think Brock is is gonna be taking a loss to Kane in WWE. So
what if they
is
team up
Kane
or
gonna
something?
or are they just gonna give us like some disqualification match or whatever? I'm intrigued, but
what about
also
a tag team? What about a tag team between those two
what's
guys?
gonna happen with Kane's career? Is it over? We don't have all these answers yet.
Cain Velasquez may be the greatest heavyweight in the history of mixed martial arts, and it would be sad to lose him from MMA. I think he still has a lot of fight to give. But as a pro wrestling fan, I'm also very excited to see him in pro wrestling. The WWE is going really hard at real combat sports athletes. They've got Tyson Fury, the heavyweight boxing champion.
Coming into WWE?
Yeah.
What the heck?
He and Cain Velasquez both made their WWE debuts on the same show on SmackDown last week on Fox.
I missed it.
It's pretty crazy.
That
Apparently
is crazy.
Tyson Fury is going to be having a match against Braun Strowman in Saudi Arabia. So they're going to be having their debut matches on the same card in Saudi Arabia on Halloween.
So who did it better, Fury or Kane?
Because
I'll tell you what,
Kane for now.
Like Fury got that crazy look in his face where he is wrestling. You know, he's made for wrestling. But Kane at the same time, he's the lucha libre type. You know, silence but a killer.
Well, Kane, I've already seen do pro wrestling, and I know that he's good at it. Tyson Fury's never done it. I think Kane is more serious in being a pro wrestler. I think this is more of a stunt for Tyson Fury. Like, I think Tyson Fury's probably one and done, but Cain Velasquez will stick around. You know, I think Kane will wrestle a few matches.
Yeah, but that's if he doesn't get hurt, because the honest truth is that in the UFC, Kane has had so many surgeries, so many problems. I mean, if he didn't have so many difficulties in his health over the last years, he'd probably be the heavyweight champion still today. But the problem is that he's really done in the UFC. His health is really at its limit. In the WWE, it's a tough sport, man. These guys hurt themselves all the time, but it's more controlled in some sense.
You know what I'd like to see? CM Punk versus Cain Velasquez in the WWE, and CM Punk just beats the hell out of him, just beats him, destroys him, and everybody's like, what is it? People would freak out. People would be so mad if that happened.
I would be mad.
You'd be so mad.
No, but I like CM Punk.
And you wouldn't get it. You'd be like, what is it? Doesn't make sense. You know, imagine CM Punk just like, he has a match, he beats Brock Lesnar, he has another match, he beats Cain Velasquez. People would freak out.
I would freak out because I don't think it'd be I don't think it would be good for the WWE to go to that, like.
Oh, I think it would be. You know what?
No, it wouldn't be good.
I would want Punk to win too. I would want it so bad.
Look, I like CM Punk. I thought he was like he had the
I want CM Punk to come back and Shane to give him a 1, 2, 3.
I'll tell you what, because
Why?
I'll tell you this much, because in MMA, CM Punk could never beat Cain Velasquez. He could never beat Brock Lesnar because they're better MMA fighters than he is.
They're bigger than
right?
him,
and they're just better, right? But CM Punk is a better pro wrestler than Brock Lesnar and Cain Velasquez, so I would buy him beating them in pro wrestling because he's just a better all-around pro wrestler than those guys are. So, yeah, go Punk. All right? I'd like to see it.
I mean,
there's your good idea for the week there, Triple H, Paul Levesque. You listening, buddy?
Listen, Dave, I can see that happening if CM Punk, just like in Jiu-Jitsu, it's not the bigger guy that always wins. I could see CM Punk probably beating Brock or beating Kane with some submission. Other than that, it's not happening. Forget it.
What? Your analysis of pro wrestling is like baffling.
Why? Because
it's okay.
I'm gonna
Let's get to the MMA. Let's get to real business at hand. Israel Adesanya knocks out Robert Whittaker last week. An incredible performance from Adesanya. Bada bing, bada waboom.
Style bender.
A knockout in the second round, and he becomes the undisputed UFC middleweight champion in front of 57,000 in Melbourne, Australia.
Crazy.
Very, very impressive.
Listen, Dave, just not the 57,000. It was the biggest sporting event attendance. Like I can't even think of the last one.
Like
not
what?
in hockey, not in football, not in soccer, not in like freaking Celine Dion like Return to Montreal concert. It was in Australia, 57,000 fans coming to see the UFC. And really, most people didn't even know. They knew Israel, but they didn't know Israel like they know Israel today. And I'm telling you something. It started from the beginning. And I'm surprised you didn't talk about the walkout, because the walkout is something that, if most people don't know Dave Simon, he has this theory. And it goes like this. And in fact, most of the time he's right.
Most of the time I'm right.
Yeah, most of the time he's right, except for this one. Most of the time when a fighter comes out, so hear me out. So all you bookies out there that are listening to us.
No, I think I'm still right. I think I'm still right.
How?
Finish your story and I'll tell you why.
So Dave Simon, this is how he analyzes fighters. Fighters come out and they're like dancing to the music. They don't have to be like dancing in like sync. They're
singing.
Just singing.
Singing along to their song is the rule. If they're singing to their song, they usually lose.
Exactly. So,
but that's not what Israel was doing. He just did a dance.
No, he didn't.
He did a choreographed dance. But I didn't see him doing a lot of singing to his song. Was he singing along to his song?
He did like a Backstreet Boys.
I thought it was dancing, but okay. I believe you.
No, it was singing along to your song. That's always the rule.
So remember, if you see a fighter singing to his song, chances are he's gonna lose. Dave Simon has this whole like statistics pulled out, and they usually lose. But Israel coming out with the dance was awesome. It was like, I don't know, like I said, the Backstreet Boys coming out or something.
So how many times did you replicate it?
The dance?
Yeah.
I was going at it at the same time, man.
Did you try, yeah?
I was. But he's awesome. He's a good dancer.
Yeah,
and
he's
his other
good.
guys, who are those other guys?
I don't know. His dance
Is like his
team?
crew in the MMA crew or what?
I don't know who they are. But it was a pretty cool entrance there from Adesanya. He put on a show. He got a knockout. Like he did everything that you'd want. He had a confrontation with his next opponent after the fight. Oof. It was a perfect, complete championship performance from Israel Adesanya. It was a star-making moment. It was very impressive. Like, he knocked out the reigning champion, Robert Whittaker, who's been super tough, who's beat them all. And here comes Israel Adesanya, a year and a half into his UFC career. And in a year and a half, he's fought 7 times, which we were talking about before the show. That is wild.
Look, he's the new
star. And he's 18-0. We all picked him to win. You know, it wasn't
I didn't.
No, he didn't.
He didn't?
Yeah, he had Whittaker.
I had Whittaker.
Well, anyway.
At least he's honest. Let's give him some props on being honest.
Thanks for the honesty, because it's very rare from you.
I'm going to tell you why he lost. Because he was singing when he came in. Like, he was singing when he was walking in. I'm telling you. Okay. I knew it. As soon as I saw that, I'm like, damn it, he's going to lose this guy.
Look, I've been on the Adesanya bandwagon for a while. I just think the guy is crazy athletic, and I think that counts for a lot. And, like, all these guys are skilled, but this guy is also a very, very good athlete, and he's charismatic. I like him. I just like you say, people know him now. People should know him for a while now. Like, he's been impressive. He's charismatic. He knows how to sell a fight. Like, let's not live in the past. We would all love to still see McGregor, but hey, McGregor's not there by his own reason. You know,
now,
like,
people are saying, like, I agree. He's a star. He's a new UFC star. But people are saying he's the next Conor McGregor.
He just needs to be the first Adesanya.
There's only one Conor McGregor.
And there's only one Adesanya.
Sure. But
and for right now, there's only one that's really active. So, like, I haven't compared him to McGregor. I'm just living in the moment, and you're asking me who are the stars I want to see. Well, Adesanya's there right now. I mean, McGregor, if he comes back, great. I'll put him back in there. But for right now, Adesanya's the guy I want to see.
He's the guy.
He's the guy you want to see over everybody?
Yeah,
over McGregor, if that's the discussion right now, yeah.
No, but that's not the discussion. The discussion is, at a certain point, Conor McGregor was the man. At a certain point, you wanted to see Conor McGregor over everybody else because he was running through everybody. He was talking so much trash. His game was so wild, so out of control. We never seen anything like it. He was selling pay-per-views. He was going after Jose Aldo. There was a whole media tour. Like, for a moment there and for a couple of years, Conor McGregor was the man in the sport, bar none. Okay,
let me go here.
And you can't say that Israel Adesanya right now is the number one act in mixed martial arts. He's not the top draw in the sport. He might be in the future, and a lot of people are trying to crown him the new king, but there are already kings and queens out there that exist outside of Israel Adesanya, and I just think that the MMA world needs to pump the brakes. I saw a lot of people crowning Israel as the next Conor McGregor, and I don't see him as the next Conor McGregor. I don't see him as a guy who's going to generate the amount of cash and pay-per-view buys that Conor McGregor drew for the UFC. Are you kidding me? Conor McGregor?
He doesn't need to be.
Do you think Israel Adesanya will ever draw, like, Well, what did Conor and Khabib do? Like 2-3 million pay-per-views? Yeah. There is no way Israel Adesanya will ever draw that many pay-per-views.
But why are we living in the past? Conor's the past.
Well, yeah,
no,
but
he's not the past.
Let him just be himself, Adesanya.
Look, I want to give him all the respect in the world. I just want to silence all these people that are going a little bit too hard on Israel Adesanya, trying to put, I think, too much expectations on him, too much pressure on this guy.
He wants that himself. What are you talking about, Dave?
But
let's be honest.
I'm saying even if he fought John Jones,
if he
still wouldn't sell as many pay-per-views as Conor and Khabib did.
He's the most fun middleweight champion since Anderson Silva. He's the most fun middleweight champion since Anderson Silva. Hey, that's Chris Weidman. That's Rockhold. That's Bisping. That's GSP. That's Whitaker.
Yeah,
GSP's more fun.
The GSP, I don't count him because he retired as soon as he won it.
All right. Well, that's fine.
So the division is now being like, this division used to be great because of Anderson Silva, and now it's back to being great because of Adesanya.
However,
and he doesn't, and Silva doesn't dance like Israel. He doesn't have the thing with
Silva does dance.
He does dance.
Silva dances.
Silva is
have you
awesome.
never seen the Michael Jackson's Anderson Silva dance?
Yeah, but he didn't come out. He didn't come out the way Israel did. Israel is
Silva
such a marketable guy.
You just say Anderson Silva doesn't dance? Like, what are you talking about? He does dance,
but I'm not like Israel, man. Israel had a show, man. I was ready to take out the popcorn and watch this guy. But the thing is that the difference is this, is that Israel is the future of the UFC right now. Everybody knows that. And I'm telling you, Jones is taking a back step. Jones is Jones. And if you don't think that the numbers are going to be made, if Israel fights John Jones, it's going to be a blockbuster pay-per-view sellout. I guarantee.
But it won't be as big as any McGregor fight. I agree. I agree with Dave on that.
Look, it might be.
I don't want to compare him to McGregor though. I just want him to be Adesanya, which is a great fighter that I want to see. Look, and him against Paulo Costa is a must-see fight. You're asking me what are the this Nate Diaz, Masvidal, BMF. It's great. It's great. As far as an athletic contest, Costa versus Adesanya is much more of a real fight. Of course, the BMF title is the one that's going to sell a lot. But as far as an athletic contest between two elite athletes,
two guys that haven't lost,
Costa, Adesanya is the fight I want to see right now.
You got one who's 13-0, the other one's 18-0. Someone has to lose. I agree with Fred on this.
Sure, but why are you comparing it to the Masvidal-Diaz fight? You want to see the Masvidal-Diaz fight more, right? It's going to sell more pay-per-views. You want to see it more.
I want to see them both. And if you ask me what is the better fight,
if I told you, Fred, you're only allowed to see one of those fights. Tell you what, Fred, I'll give you a list of fights, okay? 3 fights. You can only see one.
Make that a poll for our listeners.
Whatever. George Masvidal, Nate Diaz, okay? Paulo Costa, Israel Adesanya.
Good one.
Or Khabib Nurmagomedov and Tony Ferguson. You're only getting one of those fights, okay?
Why didn't you use something better, Dave? You should have used maybe Khabib against.
Why do I get only one, man? What makes you
I'm the boss of the UFC now.
He is the boss of Ringside Report.
I own the UFC.
No fights for you.
I just bought the UFC, and I decided I'm going to put on one more fight and then shut the whole company down. I'm letting you choose which fight that's going to be.
You didn't mention that one.
No, I'm not letting AJ choose because AJ would choose a ridiculous fight like Khabib Conor. What are you talking about?
That's going to be a pay-per-view
Fred, you get to choose what fight are you watching. It's not Israel and Paulo Costa, right?
I mean, it's there.
That sounds good, man.
It's a great fight.
It's a good fight, but it's not.
Come on, Nate.
The fight.
Nate and Jorge both have like 10 losses to their record. So it's a fun fight. Don't tell me it's a better fight than Costa versus Adesanya.
Israel Adesanya is an elite mixed martial artist.
Tony Ferguson is in the discussion.
Would put a beat down on those guys, even if they were in the same weight class, right?
Habib and Ferguson, of course, is in the discussion. But look, they're all great fights. You're asking me to pick which child I prefer. Come on.
You could do that. There's always a favorite child.
What?
Well, yeah, it's only normal.
Who's your mom's favorite?
Me, of course. Come on. That's like no.
I'm sure your brother and sister are thrilled hearing that, AJ.
Well, they know it.
Look, I don't want to take anything away from Israel Adesanya. I think he's fantastic. I just don't think he'll ever sell pay-per-views like Conor McGregor, and people were saying that he will. And I also don't think that, I think people are throwing too much on this guy. He's great. I think he'll probably beat Paulo Costa.
Fred.
Okay, fine. You guys now taking the side against Israel Adesanya. I think Israel probably beats Paulo Costa. I just wonder what he does after that. I don't think the John Jones fight makes a lot of sense because John Jones is way bigger than him.
I told you.
He has different tools than John Jones. Like his wrestling ability is not on the same level as John Jones. You know, Jones is a big, strong,
look, I told you
heavy
earlier,
guy, man, with very good wrestling. Like he would give a lot of problems to Israel Adesanya. If they were the same size, it might be a different story, but
size matters.
Size matters a lot
in a fight. And I told you earlier, look, I didn't give much of a chance to BJ Penn against George St. Pierre at UFC 94, but I still wanted to see it. And what are the other options for John Jones? Like right now for Adesanya, Costa's the next fight I want to see. But after that, if John Jones doesn't have a clear contender and there's not another contender at middleweight,
Johnny Walker, that's always in the midst of all that.
Yeah.
Johnny Walker's got a fight coming up against Corey Anderson. I keep telling you, AJ.
I know, but
that's the number one contender fight.
So do Walker after that against John Jones while Adesanya and Costa fight.
Or Anderson, because Anderson's probably going to win. I keep telling you guys. You don't listen. You guys aren't listening.
I don't think it's going to happen, Dave.
All right.
It's good. Yeah.
That's fine. Do you think Israel Adesanya would beat John Jones?
Look, if he goes up, there's a 20-pound difference between where they're fighting now. So
no, I don't either.
You don't think so? I don't know about that. I mean, it really depends.
No, he
where
wouldn't.
They fight.
Because look at what John Jones did with Thiago Santos. Like that, it would be a little bit similar.
Yeah, but he doesn't have the skills like Israel. Israel is really
Thiago Santos is pretty athletic himself.
Look,
like
if you're gonna get the closest fighter, in a sense, to John Jones, it would be Israel, and you've got that same style of fighting like Anderson Silva in Israel.
Come on, man.
And you know what's going to happen is if Israel fights John Jones
he's still
right
John
now,
Jones.
He's still John Jones, but the difference is that this is Israel, and Israel is coming into the mainstream here. He's going to be a fan
John
favorite.
Jesus Jones.
People like him.
Triple J.
Look, John Jones is either loved or hated. Israel is going to have more love than hate. I guarantee you.
Well, he's hated. John Jones is hated by you, and I know that's why you're pushing.
I don't hate the guy, man. That's terrible, man.
Okay. You don't like him very much?
I hate the fact that he has picograms in him. That's the only thing I hate, you know? And so does Daniel Cormier. You know, Cormier said it too. He goes, listen, be clean. Be a clean champion. That's all.
Well,
we're not asking for much.
It would be good. It would be good.
And Israel
but
right
he
now,
is right now. And I'm waiting. I'm waiting to see when he's going to fight again because we're still waiting. John Jones at one point said he had a big fight announcement, and then nothing came of it. And we're still waiting to find out who John Jones is going to fight next. And
look,
I have no idea.
I'm telling you, if anything creeps up out of the sky, it'll be another rematch against Cormier. That's what I think is going to happen.
Cormier is fighting Stipe next.
I know,
that's the rematch everybody
Cormier's
needs to
not
see.
interested in John Jones, and he shouldn't be interested in John
why
Jones.
Not?
No, because he's got the Stipe rematch. It's much better for Cormier.
No, for sure. Yeah, but the thing is, he can't retire without fighting like Jones again. That's
any other fight that you liked on this UFC 243 card?
Yeah,
Dan Hooker,
awesome.
Ally Quinto was a
Hooker
good fight.
had a great fight.
Hooker.
Hooker looked really good.
Yes.
Hooker was good.
Not the first time you said that.
Cha-ching.
Anybody else on this card that you enjoy?
Well, wait,
Megan Anderson had a nice triangle choke there, right, on the prelims.
Look, the fight
Megan
of the night
Anderson,
was awesome.
She's Australian.
Megan Anderson was awesome. That was a good way to start.
Nice triangle.
Nice triangle. It was a great fight for the Australians and the New Zealanders that were watching this fight, and then it went south from there. But until Israel came back. But honestly, that was a great fight. And then it was the fight I was telling you was the fight of the night with Brad Riddle and James Malarkey. That was a war. That was an amazing fight.
Malarkey.
What is it? Malarkey.
Yeah.
It is a malarkey.
That's all you ever talk is all sorts of malarkey.
I was going to say something else in Greek, but I'm not allowed to.
That's
but
okay.
The thing is this. But that was an awesome fight, Dave. Come on, Fred. Did you watch that? That was a great fight.
Yeah, it was a good fight.
They won fight of the night.
Sergey Spivak tied to Avasa was pretty cool. That arm triangle choke that Spivak landed.
I was surprised with Ty. I didn't think he was going to get submitted. I didn't think he was going to go down like that, but it didn't look good for the Maori Warriors. I mean, him and Tafa, had a bad night in front of the home crowd.
Diego Lima won. I expected a little bit more still out of him. His fight was a little unimpressive, I thought.
Yeah.
Like, still a nice win for him, but split decision. I thought when the fight started, I thought he was going to get that win for sure. And
yeah, but it was a very, you know what? That was the only fight where it was a little bit of It was a snoozer. I mean, it just wasn't a good fight to have on that card. I think it would have been great as a prelim, but they had so many other fighters that you could have had in that card.
So coming up this weekend for the UFC, they're going to be in Tampa Bay, Florida.
I
with
love Tampa.
A main event that is in jeopardy at the recording of this program. We still don't know if Joanna has made weight or not. If you're listening to this after the weigh-ins, you'll know.
Yeah, but she says no. Why are you stressing for?
There's word that Joanna might not make weight, but now she's saying she will. So
we'll see.
Let's talk about this for a second.
Okay.
So Joanna early in the week supposedly told the UFC that she might not be making the weight, and Michelle Waterson supposedly told the UFC that she's not interested in a catchweight fight. And I'll tell you what. I think for right now, like what Michelle Waterson did is exactly what she needed to do, because like this happened like 4 or 5 days before the event. So like for Michelle Waterson to right now concede a catchweight makes no sense. Make Joanna try at least to cut the weight.
Yeah.
Like be a professional.
Put her through the pain.
Yeah, and if on the weigh-in day she comes in like a pound or two short, well, maybe Michelle Waterson there should like still accept the fight. But don't be like giving her like right away a catch weight of, let's say, 5-10 pounds extra. That makes no sense. So like I'm not like, some people were a little critical of Michelle Waterson's reaction, but I think she made the right decision there. It makes no sense for her 5 days before the event to concede that much weight to her opponent.
No, if you come to me 5 days before we're supposed to fight at 115 pounds and you tell me, look, I won't be able to make it, I'll make 120, but I'm on track, I'll be able to make 115 and I've kind of done my job, I'm going to say, no, you're going to suffer. You try to make 115. I'm not fighting you at 120. Like, why would you just give that up? Doesn't make any sense. Michelle Waterson doing the right thing, and we'll talk about her fight with Joanna in a second, and the rest of this card. We'll also get to Tito Ortiz and what he's doing next, and big fight for Bellator in Japan at the end of the year. I know AJ's very excited about this. He just got the news recently, so he's hyped. But we got to take a short pause here for the radio side. It is Ringside Report here on TSN 690 and on the Ringside Report Network.
Mm-hmm.
I had my AJ moment. I didn't realize we were going to commercial.
We're on commercial break now.
I was trying to wrap up, and you're like, can we talk about this for a second? I was like, okay.
No, but it was very important.
I was trying to set up the next thing after the break, but, that's cool.
But that was a good one.
See, we let you in on a little bit of the behind the scenes of how the radio show works. I was trying to throw to break and kind of wrap up, and then Fred's like, hey, can we talk about this for a second? I'm like, all right, Fred, sure. But you realize it. See, AJ would...
Well, at the end, I realized, I go, oh, yeah, he wanted to go to commercial there.
But it was a good one. At least it was a good point.
Yeah.
So what?
Good point, AJ.
Good point.
I want to see something. Let me test something here.
Let's test. Is there any comments going on?
Hey, that's cool. Look at that.
What is that?
We're showing the fight card.
Why don't you show our website?
Should I show our website? Okay.
Yeah, that's always awesome.
So we're going to put AJ in charge of preparing some graphics and all.
That'll be awesome, man.
I'll have, should we put AJ in charge of that? I don't know if that's a wise move.
It's a wise move to me.
So we've got new stuff on the YouTube channel that we're doing, trying to.
I can't wait till we have like a virtual interview with one of the fighters.
AJ, you got to get closer to the mic.
But we're on break. I'm taking it easy. I'm chilling, man.
No, you got to stay on mic, okay? We can hardly hear you. That's the word from the producer.
Oh, that's Papa Simon.
Yeah, he's taking care of business.
Taking care of business.
You want to see
Papa Simon?
You want to see the website?
Yeah, that's awesome. Look at that. Isn't that awesome?
There's our site.
That's what we look like.
That's ringsidereport.net, everybody.
There's Phantom in Japan.
Go there.
The Green Phantom, I think, no?
You can see our Hell in a Cell.
Wow, that is awesome,
watch
Dave.
along.
That's a really cool graphic there.
You can see our AEW Dynamite recap.
Ooh.
Which
nice.
Was the last episode of Wrestling Uncensored. And you can also watch the new episode, first ever episode.
Who's that cutie in the corner?
Smackin It with Dave. That's me.
Wow. Really? Did
what
they
do you
Photoshop you or something?
Why?
Your complexion looks a little darker.
Oh, you talking about The Rock?
No, I'm talking about you, man.
Yeah, all right.
Look how white you look on screen. But over there, you look nice and tan.
Hey, there we are. Hey. Yeah, so that's a new
What else? Go down,
that's
man.
a new
Show 'em
feature
Ringside
for
thing.
Ringside Report and so on. We're trying to work on some new gimmicks, new graphics and everything for everybody. So
But it looks cool. Dave, go scroll down a little bit more. Show them.
show them
Look at that.
all
Take
the
a look
shows.
at that. This is no like third-rate show.
There you go. Gamma. Go to Gamma. That's where I go.
And if you want to be like part of the show and you want to sponsor your products, clothing, food, weed,
New
store,
episode-
whatever,
Yeah.
you can do it on ringsidereport.net.
New episode of What's Phantom in Japan just dropped this week. Dropped a couple days ago. Myself and the Green Phantom. Just an update on what's going on in New Japan Pro Wrestling.
How's the Phantom doing?
Phantom is doing well.
Hey,
He's
what-
always busy, that guy. He's a celebrity, you know?
He is.
He's
a
famous.
he is a big name. But the thing is that he put out a picture on Instagram with him and his dog, and the dog was wearing like a brown vest, and he got like kind of like flack for that, for saying, "Hey, Green Phantom, how come your dog's not wearing anything green?" You know?
Yeah. Should be a green vest.
Yeah, it should be a green vest.
That's your story?
That's my story. One more. You know what
Terrible.
I like? I like the Green Phantom to give me like a mask so I can dress up like him. And
I have a
At
green
Halloween.
I have a Green Phantom mask.
for real,
Yeah.
so give it to me.
What? No.
Actually, you know what? I need to borrow the UFC gloves for Halloween,
What are
because
you gonna be for Halloween?
I'm gonna be Khabib.
You're gonna be Khabib for Halloween
Yes, sir.
That's a good
At
idea.
the YMCA.
with your hat
The
and the
whole thing.
UFC gloves.
Wait. I bet AJ goes full and he goes like
I'm going full, man. I am.
without a shirt.
I asked them if I can wear, like,
You're
I was gonna
crazy
go with
enough
no
to do
shirt,
it.
but then they said there's too many kids around, all that kind of stuff. So I gotta wear like a t-shirt. Do you have a t-shirt?
Do I have it? You
like
have
a Khabib t-shirt or something?
No.
I want Freddie.
We'll get you
You
one.
still have time. UFC.com. They got store.
Yeah, I need to get a Khabib shirt.
I'm
But
not doing a promo
I can't show
for
my hairy
UFC.com.
chest. I can't show that apparently. I thought it was cool. I did it last week. Remember? That's
Here,
it.
Amazon. Team Habib. Oh wait, go down.
Hold on a second.
Next one is nicer.
Wow, that is pretty cool.
No,
Which
the
one?
one there on the left, second row. Yeah,
This one
Russia
here?
UFC. Yeah,
This is a cool one.
the
Oh,
eagle.
get this.
Oh yeah,
Oh, that's sweet.
That is pretty sweet. How much is it?
$30.
Add to cart. I wonder. It probably takes like forever to ship.
Put in the
They
order,
probably
man.
charge extra
Dave,
shipping.
get your credit card out.
No. Look at all these Khabib shirts on Amazon you can get, AJ. Oh, get
Oh,
that
that's a
one.
good one.
Get
That's a
that
cool one.
one. That's the one for AJ right there.
With the head.
Team Khabib.
That is
And
awesome,
The
man.
hat. See the hat down there? He's wearing the hat, like a little image of him wearing the hat.
That
See?
is awesome, man.
That is cool.
But I've got the real hat. Why don't you go on our Instagram page? You can see all the pictures with all the cool stuff of us.
We'll do that later.
Instagram
I
at
don't know.
Ringside Report.
You can follow AJ at Danny Bruck. Follow me at Dave Simon MMA. Follow Fred at Freddy MMA. Let's go back to the show.
Do you find that it's a little?
Action.
What?
I was gonna say the names at the bottom, like. can you see
Yeah.
them?
Well, they're a little small. We'll get them bigger.
No, or more like.
Don't worry about
Or
it,
at the
man.
top. Maybe at
Don't
the top
worry
where it's
about
all
it.
black.
Did you see what we just
Papa
did
Simon
there,
at the
AJ?
top.
You see that? We had like images on our show.
I thought it was amazing. I
was
can't wait
cool.
till we have someone
That's
like
new.
we can interview.
That's new.
It's amazing. This show is just like rocking.
All right, let's get back to it. All right.
Are we back?
All right, welcome back. It is Ringside Report. I'm Dave Simon. He is Fred Garcia. And the other guy here is AJ DeLessio. We're-
Daddy Shark. Da, 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 Daddy
Shark,
Shark.
do,
da,
do,
da,
do,
da,
do,
da. Fred, get in here. Daddy Shark.
We
Da,
are
da, da,
here
da, da.
on TSN 690 every Friday night talking mixed martial arts. You can go to our YouTube channel, subscribe to the channel, click the bell to get the notifications every time we're on. It is youtube.com/ringsidereport.net with the .net spelled out DOTNET. More info on the channel at www.ringsidereport.net, the online home for everything that we do. We've got the Wrestling Uncensored, What's Phantom in Japan, myself and the legendary Montreal wrestler, the Green Phantom, talking about New Japan Pro Wrestling. A new episode dropped this week. So all sorts of new content. Smackin It with Dave, the new SmackDown show, every Friday night right after SmackDown.
Dave
You
loves smacking it.
you can watch me smack it. Smack people. I
get
smack
arrested.
people.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, we actually had to. Well, I'll tell you later. It's a funny story about YouTube and Smackin It. The show got flagged.
With Johnny North?
No, it was myself and my brother.
What?
The show got flagged because they thought that the title was too explicit. They thought it was like too risque. But so then we had to change
kind
it
of like Screech
to Smackin It, the SmackDown post show, so it's clear that it's not some sort of gross show that I'm doing. It's just me talking about SmackDown and giving the show a certain amount of smacks out of 10. And then when we give those smacks, we actually hit each other.
What? I gotta see that.
You didn't see myself?
No,
and,
I missed it. I was like too busy.
My brother and I were hitting each other on the show.
Oh, I gotta watch it now.
Yeah. And we gave each other the smack of the night. It was great.
Can I participate if I come on the show?
Yeah, if you come on the show, but it's like open hand kind of chops to the chest. You want them?
Brass knuckles?
You want one now?
Yeah, no, give me. Wait, no, not on the
See,
chest.
you'd be a terrible wrestler because you shield away from the chops.
Of course, man, because I'm a smart
Don't
fighter.
worry about it.
You're going to hit me in the chest? Okay,
Yeah,
go.
come here. Oh, hold on a second.
God,
I'm going to
I
hit
can
Fred's
feel it.
mic if I do it. Get
we
over
go.
here.
Ow!
Oh, Fred
That was a
just
nice
got
one.
you.
That's like a Johnny North, but that was a good
Oh, I don't need to get you. Fred got you good.
That was a good one. Johnny North, man, I'm coming to your show October, when is it, 26th?
Yeah.
I want to smack the big Drew Onyx. I want to do it.
Okay. Well, maybe you should be in Alberto Del Rio's corner to help him out when he takes on the legendary Tito Ortiz.
That's crazy.
That's a fight that's actually going to happen. Now, you may say that's crazy, but Del Rio does have an MMA record. Like, he has fought in MMA.
He got knocked out by Mirko, I know.
Yeah, he got knocked out by Mirko Krokop, but he, I think, has a winning MMA record. I can pull it up here. He's 9-5 in professional mixed martial arts. He fought between 2001 and 2010.
But none of his wins are against somebody that has a Wikipedia page,
That's
which is always a barometer.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. He's beat a lot of guys that you've never heard of, but he does have some
Actually, he did
wins.
defeat Brad Kohler. That seems to have a...
Oh, there you go. Whoever that is. I don't know him that well. But, Del Rio has had some wins. He used to go under his other name, Dos Caras Jr., right?
Dos Caras.
The son of Dos Caras.
But let's not forget,
that
it's
means
Tito
two,
Ortiz,
two
man.
faces. Two faces.
What?
Dos means two.
Uh-huh.
Cara means face.
You know what
Dos caras, two faces.
Cara
That's your
means,
Spanish
it
lesson
means
for the day.
expensive in Italian.
Fred Garcia, I hope you enjoyed that Spanish lesson from me.
Madro de Dios.
Thanks, man.
Gracias, señor.
So
Simon.
he's going to fight Tito Ortiz for Combate Americas, which is a company that Del Rio's been a part of for a while. And
Isn't he the president at one point?
I think he was, but now he's just a commentator or whatever. Anyways, it's a fight that apparently is actually going to happen. It's one of those kind of freak show fights. Tito is way past his prime. His last fight was against Chuck Liddell, right?
Yeah.
Wasn't that Tito's
Yeah, that was Tito's last fight. But you know
Oh,
what?
my
It's still
goodness.
Tito Ortiz. He's still training. He looks good. And I don't think it's so much of a freak fight as like comparing the bagel guy to Screech. That's a freak fight.
Yeah,
But-
I mean, at least these guys have had MMA
Yeah,
experience. Del Rio is 42. Tito is 44.
Who did CM Punk face in the UFC?
Nobody's.
Like, he faced Mickey
Mickey
Gall
Gall
and...
and Mickey Gall was
Michael
good.
Jackson.
all right, I'll tell you what. I think
Beat it.
Tito Ortiz is probably a higher level fighter than... Maybe not... Well, yeah, even
Yeah,
Mickey
but-
Gall.
Yes.
So, like,
But
Tito-
Del Rio's a higher level fighter than CM Punk.
Technically,
maybe.
yeah, he's got like
Yeah.
14
He's
fights,
9-5.
Yeah, I guess he is.
He's won 9 professional fights.
That's
CM Punk has
impressive.
won 0 fights.
True.
I still got Tito winning this ground
yeah,
and pound.
yeah, Tito for sure on this one.
I mean,
It's Tito Ortiz. Dave.
probably, but Tito's older. Tito's beat up.
He's 44. He's not that much
Del
older.
Rio is in really good shape.
How old is Del Rio?
Del Rio has never had USADA testing, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, well, there's
Okay.
a difference between being in pro wrestling shape and MMA shape for
Two
both
different worlds,
sports.
man.
Sure, Del Rio will probably lose, but Tito's saying that he's going to give $50,000 to a charity of Del Rio's choice if Del Rio can make it past the first round.
That's cool.
People are giving Del Rio absolutely no chance. I don't know, man. I wouldn't trust Tito Ortiz to be a
if he-
lock in any fight
If
in
he
2019.
backs it, I'll give props to Tito. Like either way, if Tito finishes him under a round, I'll give him props. And if Tito doesn't and gives the money, I'll go bravo Tito. But I still expect Tito to win.
Wouldn't it be cool if Del Rio won, though?
It'd be pretty.
I
bad
kinda
for
So
wanna
Tito.
how old you said Tito was?
44.
And how old
44.
is Del Rio? You
42.
think? Yeah, exactly. So there's no difference there.
Yeah, exactly.
I just think that Del Rio has maybe less wear and tear on his body.
Like
than
having a
Tito.
nice physique doesn't make you a good MMA fighter, like, and it doesn't automatically give you good cardio
Del
or
Rio's
anything
a
like
big
that.
guy, though. I don't know. You
But
never
it
know.
doesn't mean anything. Like Tito is like a guy who's fought MMA at the highest level. Yeah, he's 44 years old. This guy is.
I don't know. Tito,
He's a real fighter, man.
Tito probably wins.
You know?
Tito probably wins, but I'm into it. I'll say that.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
I'm down with watching that fight. That's a fun fight. December is going to be a wild month. We've got Tito Ortiz on the 7th of December, and then on the 29th, we've got Rampage Jackson taking on Fedor Emelianenko for
be so
Bellator in Japan. So this is where Fedor and Rampage really made their names.
They're heroes in Japan. These
Yeah,
two.
they're super duper stars, and they're going to be fighting in a main event. It's going to be Bellator versus Ryzen, too. So the Ryzen MMA promotion are going to be putting some of their champions against some of the Bellator champions on the card.
Wow, cool.
It's going to be a fun MMA show. It's at the Saitama Super Arena in Saitama, Japan. Fedor and Rampage, New Year's Eve in Japan. It just seems right. And two guys that were legends of Pride, but never fought. You know, these guys have never crossed paths.
Which is surprising when you think
Well,
about it.
that's it. Like, these guys have been around the same circles. They fought a lot of the same guys. But, you know, Fedor was heavyweight. Rampage was light heavyweight for a very long time. So they were kind of away from each other. But here, it just makes sense. Rampage is towards the end of his career. Fedor's at the end of his career. He's 43. Fedor's last fight was against, it was the Bader fight, right, where he got beat up by Ryan Bader. Didn't Rampage lose to Bader in his last fight, too?
I think so.
Oh, no, he beat Vanderlei. I forgot about that. Rampage fought Vanderlei again last September in 2018. So last year was Rampage's last fight. He's 41, you know.
But it's-
both of these guys,
but it's
they're legends of the sport. They've never fought each other. It seems like a fair fight at this point. I really don't know who to choose. I'm leaning towards Fedor, right?
Yeah, for
Because
sure.
historically, if you say Fedor versus Rampage, most people would go Fedor, right? But you never know at this point in time. Like, I wouldn't rule out a Rampage victory here, right? Like, Rampage could totally beat Fedor. Like, Fedor has shown that he can be knocked out at this point in his career. Rampage still has power.
That's the thing. If the fight lasts a couple of rounds, I think Fedor probably like wins because he tires out Rampage. But Rampage could knock out Fedor in 30 seconds also with one good shot. Like, so that's the type of fight where anything could probably happen. I'm happy. Like, if these two guys are still going to be fighting, it makes sense for both of them. Like, I don't want to see Fedor against like Ryan Bader or a young guy that's going to kill him.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I want to see Fedor against Rampage. Makes sense.
But isn't this awesome? Like hearing these names, like just hearing like Vanderlei Silva, you know, Fedor, like Rampage Jackson, and all these names. It just brings me back to
Makes you feel young again.
It makes me feel super like in that moment when I saw
Until
Fedor
we
for the
see
first
them
time.
fight and they don't look at
Yeah.
all like they used to.
No, exactly, and that's the shame about it. And most people that are hearing these guys now don't realize how big of a name and how much following these guys had. Like I remember the days in Pride with Fedor and Rampage Jackson and seeing those fights of the days, Coleman and all the rest of those guys. It was ridiculous. I mean, these guys were so big and like so much talent. And it's unfortunate because Fedor really didn't capture that time when he could have been a big name in the North American market. It's just a shame. Fedor was like, he's still amazing. I mean, I just, you know, you want to blow your mind. Just look at the way he trains. His training regimen of the days was incredible. But hey, it's good to hear those names, man. You know, it's great.
It is cool to see Fedor again. It's cool to see Rampage. It's a cool fight. It's fun. It's the kind of thing that Bellator does, and I enjoy it. I'd like this fight to be 5 rounds. I know Bellator, when they have these kind of legend fights, they usually do only 3 rounds. Like Musasi and Lyoto, they main evented that last Bellator card there, but it was a 3-round fight. I would like these fights to go 5 rounds because I feel like it would only take another round to get one of these guys out of there and finish the fight. And when we get a 3-round fight, it's kind of like, yeah, you know that one of these guys are on the verge of losing, but they're saved by the time limit of this 3-rounder. Right. I'd like to see a 5-round fight between Fedor and Rampage because I'd like to see one of them get tired enough to actually lose and get knocked out. You know, like
it would get too sloppy. I think
it would get really
3 rounds
sloppy.
makes sense.
And I know, and that's probably why Bellator doesn't do 5 rounds with these legend type fights, because they know it would get really ugly past the 3rd round. But sometimes I like when it gets ugly. You know, I remember Dada and Kimbo. They made them fight 5 rounds.
They almost died in the ring.
Well, yeah, and I think
he almost did.
I think that's one of the reasons why they probably don't have guys like this fight 5 rounds anymore, because it's just ugly. But at the same time, you know, it's a fight, and I'd like to see, you know, who can last between Fedor and Rampage. Because I'll tell you right now, I'm predicting a decision victory, Fedor by decision, maybe 29-28. Like, Fedor will win 2 out of 3 rounds or 3 out of 3 rounds. I'm predicting Fedor to win by decision in a 3-round fight. And I don't really want to see that. I'd rather see somebody get knocked out in the 4th or the 5th. I want to see them. I want to see them go all the way, and I want to see it settled. I don't really like seeing it go to a decision, and I think it probably does. A lot of these legend type fights, they fight as hard as they have to for 15 minutes.
If Rampage is gonna win, it's gonna be by knockout, I think, and maybe Fedor wins by decision. But hey, I think if it goes into round 3, they're probably gonna be both tired. So maybe Rampage gets.
You don't think any
get
submissions
knocked out
in there?
Nah.
I can see Fedor submitting Rampage.
Yeah, that's what I can see happening. But you know what?
Rear naked choke. Like, Fedor's got a good mount. You know, gets the mount, lays some ground and pound. Rampage, turns his back. Fedor chokes him out. I can see that going down.
That's still possible. Look, I'm gonna watch it. It's great. And
we all got
said,
Fedor winning.
Yeah.
Isn't this kind of fun? Like, it's
December 29th.
It's a fight for Fedor where we all expect him to win, and he's fighting like a name guy, which really doesn't happen that often. Where it's like, hey, Fedor's got a fight in 2019,
but
everybody thinks he's gonna win.
You say that. Remember Fedor against Maldonado? I think Rampage pretty much destroyed Maldonado. No, wasn't it in Montreal also?
Yes.
Exactly. So, anyways, we'll see. I'm happy December 29th. I hope, Japan starts giving us those big New Year's show like they used to back in the days. Those were fun.
This is a Bellator Ryzen co-promotion, right? So I like that Bellator's doing this. You know, it's a great way to use Fedor Emelianenko and Rampage Jackson. Send them to Japan and have them fight each other.
How are we going to watch this?
I don't know. It'll probably be on DAZN or Paramount Network. You want to watch it with me, AJ? A little Christmas celebration?
That would be awesome.
Yeah? In our PJs with some Christmas music going in the background.
A little bit of eggnog.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Wearing our
we should do
UFC little
we
gloves.
should do like a Christmas watch along in our pajamas and stuff.
That would be awesome, man. That's a great idea.
Maybe we'll do that.
Yeah, you know what? That would be awesome, man.
Maybe we'll do that. We're not going to do it for UFC Tampa
with
though.
The Christmas tree and everything in the background. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, UFC Tampa going on this weekend. We've got Joanna Jędrzejczyk taking on Michelle the Karate Hate Waterson, and it's a pretty good fight here in the UFC strawweight division. It's a great main event. I love Joanna Jędrzejczyk. She's a superstar of the sport. She is, I'd say, the greatest strawweight champion that the UFC has ever seen, and she's awesome. You know, she talks a good game. Her fights are always entertaining. She goes for it 100%. She's a warrior. Michelle Waterson, she's got some great kicks, really nice karate style.
But let's not forget...
It's a good matchup stylistically, you know, standing up. They both like to stand, and they both have a fun stand-up game where they engage. This is a good fight.
But don't forget, with the Karate Hottie, everybody looks at her as a stand-up like artist and all this, her karate background. But in the end, out of like 5 of her fights, 4 of them have been by submission. So she's a really good submission grappler. I mean, Joanna, the only good thing about Joanna is that she's great at like takedown defense and that kind of stuff. But
she's never been submitted.
She's never been submitted. But the Karate Hottie is sort of like that smokescreen, like they say, that everybody thinks of her as a stand-up fighter. But again, she's got 4 submission wins. So that's where I think could be a little bit of a change-up. I think Joanna's going to win. She's just an aggressive fighter. She's determined and whatnot. But if it goes to the ground, the game can change.
I'm going also with Joanna, but she's lost 3 of her last 4 fights. So, she hasn't looked great in recent fights. And you mentioned Joanna being a good talker. I don't know if you caught when the journalist asked her about her weight, and she answered back like, do you know if you're going to wake up tomorrow?
Yeah.
That was pretty deadly.
The question to Joanna was, Joanna, do you know if you're going to make weight on, And she's like, do you know if you're going to wake up tomorrow? It's like, oh, that's a chilling response. Joanna's just a scary lady. She's not a giant person. She fights at 115 pounds. But there's something about that Polish accent and that cold stare. She is an intimidating lady.
Dave,
I love it.
She is intimidating. And if you forget, this summer, I sent you a picture of her putting on baby oil to take the sun. I couldn't believe that.
I don't remember that at all.
You don't remember that?
No.
I mean,
yeah, and I remember you talking about it, but
it's like, wow. Okay. Yeah. You want to get nice and crispy, man. Hang with Joanna.
I know that really affected you. Joanna Jędrzejczyk right now, taking a look at the odds. She is plus or minus 335, a pretty heavy favorite here going into the fight. Michelle Waterson plus 275, the underdog. The co-main event, we've got Crone Gracie, minus 150, the favorite. Cub Swanson, plus 130, the underdog. So Crone, not a huge favorite. We all got Joanna in the main event, by the way?
Yep.
All got Joanna. I got Joanna by, I think, a decision. I don't know if she'll be able to finish Waterson. Either knockout or decision. I don't know. I got Joanna winning.
Yeah, thumbs up on that.
AJ gives his thumbs up on that. We all got Crone Gracie. Is Crone Gracie still undefeated in MMA?
Yeah, he's still undefeated, but the thing is
5-0.
Yep, he's awesome.
All by submission. Of course, the son of the legendary Rickson Gracie, a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt of the highest order. Crone Gracie is no joke. He is a martial artist through and through. He was born into this.
Look, sorry, Freddie, you gonna say something?
I was gonna say hopefully he wins, but I'm gonna tell you what. Cub Swanson is a legit MMA fighter. Like, Cub Swanson is a level just before the championship level. So this is a real test for Crone Gracie. And I like it. Like, we're complaining, let's say, for like Greg Hardy, that's always getting jabronis. Hey, Crone Gracie doesn't have this huge MMA experience, but they're not wasting his time. He defeated Alex Caceres, who's still also a legit fighter, and now he's going up in competition for Cub Swanson. Yeah. He's not far from the elite there.
Yeah, if Crone Gracie gets you to the ground, it's lights out. Like, you are done. And Cub Swanson, very good. Got to give him his props.
He hasn't had a win since 2017, guys.
Yeah, he's
and
lost
remember, Cub
four,
Swanson is
he's
older.
Lost 4 in a row.
You know
now.
what I'm saying? He's on his downward
but he's still
spiral.
a legit fighter.
Sure, but you're looking at Kieran Gracie.
The last guy he beat was Artem Lobov.
Yeah, who was in bare knuckles fighting not too long ago.
Come on.
And won. But the thing is that what people forget is that Kieran Gracie, coming from like the Gracie family, unlike all the other Gracies that came into the MMA after Hoist and all the rest, this guy has really good like stand-up boxing. He has a great jab. He can strike.
Yeah.
And the thing
you know who
is,
he trains with?
I'm not sure who he's training with.
The Diaz brothers.
Oh, there you go. So you can't get better than that. And
they're going to be in his corner. They're going to be there. Nate's usually in his corner for his fights.
Look, how much better does
Remember
that
when
get?
you didn't know who Crone Gracie's dad was?
Yeah.
Remember when we talked about him on the show and you were like, what? Who's it? I didn't know.
Yeah.
You're like the biggest jiu-jitsu guy. You're always talking
so many
about
Gracies.
this
I
guy,
can't
that
remember
guy.
all of them. It's impossible.
But like Hickson is
It's like the Dions in Quebec. How am I going to remember all of them? It's impossible.
But his dad is like the king. Everybody said he was the best in the Gracie family. He was the #1 guy.
Yeah.
His dad is the best of all. You know, when people say who's the best jiu-jitsu guy ever, most people say Hickson Gracie. Most people.
Yeah. So, but back to like Kieran, like I was saying, is
Why you
is
call
that-
him Kieran?
Because that's his name, Kieran.
It's Crone.
Well, you want to call him Crone, I call him Kieran. But the thing is this.
Fred, what do you call him?
Kron.
Crone. I think it's
What is it,
Crone.
Crohn's? He has Crohn's?
There's no Y or I in his
I don't
name.
know why you say Kieran.
Because I want to say
Because
Kieran.
there is a Kieran, I'm pretty sure. There is a Kieran Gracie.
You're just making names up.
So
Anyways, we all have.
no, but just hear me out on this.
What?
This guy is what people have to remember is that you've got like the best grappler in the game. You got a guy who's beat like Gary Tonin. You got to beat a guy who's beat Otavio Souza. You got a guy who was an ADCC champion. This guy is hopefully a big name in the UFC in the future.
Crone Gracie.
Yes, sir.
Big fight for
Ice cream.
co-main event.
K-Ron Ice Cream. Gracie.
We
That's
all-
his nickname, yeah.
Okay. We all have him winning this fight here against Cub via submission, right?
Pretty much.
How about Nico Price, James Vick? That's a really good fight here on the card, a welterweight
that'll be
fight.
good.
Amanda Ribas taking on Mackenzie Dern.
Now we're talking.
AJ, I know you're very excited about Mackenzie
I'm
Dern,
happy she's back.
your favorite fighter. She
Hands down.
She gave birth 4 months ago.
I'm not the father.
She is a jiu-jitsu black belt. She is a beast of a fighter.
She's
She
an
is
ADCC champion as well.
and
you got
7-0 in mixed martial arts. Most of her wins coming by submission with 3 decisions in there as well. She's another one where she gets you on the ground, you're in big trouble.
yeah, and look, her last fight, her stand-up wasn't that bad. It was pretty good, and she was aggressive. She was, she was controlling the octagon. I mean, this girl has a lot. I mean, she's been out for over a year and a year and a half now. So
Yeah, well, she
look,
was pregnant for 9 months at least, and then, 4 months after that, so.
I think it's a good fight for her to come back, and I think she's gonna win it.
Yeah, I think so too. She is coming in as the betting favorite here, minus 135. Not a huge favorite, but she is expected to win. Ribas plus 115.
Look, she has name recognition. I hope she wins because she has just like we were saying Adesanya earlier, she has star potential just because of her name. So
she had fans before she was in the UFC.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
AJ has been a super fan of Mackenzie Dern's for a while.
I met her
in the jiu-jitsu
awesome.
in the jiu-jitsu
shared
community.
some sweat with his father.
That's
her
right.
father.
We did.
People in the jiu-jitsu
tight.
community are familiar with her and they like her very much. So, that's,
But you know what?
that's
'Cause
working. She's a
listen,
star.
Dave, because she's also a really nice girl. Like, she's super polite.
All right.
Listen, man, that makes a big difference when you
Okay.
want to. It's like George.
How
People
about
like
your
him
main
'cause he's
man,
cool.
Eric Anders?
Eric, yeah, boy. And yeah, boy,
It's your boy.
yeah, boy, yeah, boy. The most important thing
Eric
is that
Anders
Eric
taking
Anders,
on Gerald Mearshart on this card as well.
And what position did Eric Anders play?
he played. What did he play?
In that great game that you watched?
What's the name of the team he was on?
Listen, it don't matter. Yeah,
well,
boy.
you told him you watched every down, every play. What's
Listen,
the
that
name
was
of
back
the
then. I'm old
What's
now.
the
I can't
name of the
remember.
team?
You're asking me. There's so
Can
much
you even
information.
remember the state?
Listen, man. He beat the Texas Longhorns. That's what I remember.
What playing for what team?
It don't matter, man.
But I thought you watched every game and you were the biggest fan of that team.
Listen, I'm gonna
because
tell
that's
you
what you
something.
told him on
I
the
did
show.
because I said all of Alabama is on my side, man.
Oh, you just remembered Alabama.
No, I didn't. It's Alabama, man. Who doesn't like Alabama?
What's the name of the
Alabama,
team?
You know,
But he did score that important touchdown. Eh?
he did actually. Not touchdown. Recovered.
Roll Tide, AJ.
Roll Tide, man. Hashtag Roll Tide.
You don't know what that
Listen,
means.
go back to the old episodes.
Well, actually, I'm not sure what it means. Period. Also,
I'm not
Roll
sure what it
Tide.
means either, but I
Listen,
know
Roll
that
Hashtag
team.
Roll
Tide.
I know that they say it. I know that the team
Listen.
that Eric Anders played for, they say that.
Roll Tide, Alabama.
Okay.
I should have worn my shirt today.
Yeah, so he's
Big
going to
mistake.
be fighting Gerald, and this is a fight where he is expected to win here. Minus 160, Eric Anders is the favorite.
He's an amazing athlete. If you look at him overall, I mean, this guy is going to be able to go the rounds. He's probably going to get a knockout. I mean, the other guy has pretty good power punches and whatnot, but it's Eric Anders. How much better of an athlete can you get than him?
He's strong. He's powerful. He's a good MMA fighter. And, that's UFC Tampa going down this weekend.
Yeah, boy.
A big main event there. Joanna Jędrzejczyk, Michelle Waterson. And it should be on one of the TSNs right here in Canada and ESPN in the United States. ESPN Plus main card.
Don't be wrong
and the
like
prelims.
AJ this time, like last time.
No. This is an evening card. It's usually on
it's
TSN.
ESPN Plus.
ESPN Plus in the U.S., and it should be on one of the TSNs in Canada this weekend.
It'll be on RDS, that's for sure.
That's right. In the meantime, go to www.ringsidereport.net. Go to our YouTube channel if you are not already there. Like the video, leave a comment, subscribe to the channel, hit that bell when you subscribe. YouTube.com/ringsidereport.net. Go to www.ringsidereport.net for more information. www.ringsidereport.net. You can follow me on all the things, Twitter and Instagram at Dave Simon MMA. Follow Fred at Freddy MMA, and you can follow AJ at Dan E. Bruck. I will be back for Wrestling Uncensored here. If you're listening on TSN 690, you can also catch Dave and Johnny live and Smackin It, the Smackdown show. Smackin It and Dave and Johnny live, exclusive to YouTube. If you want to watch Ringside Report, if you want to watch Wrestling Uncensored, you want to watch Smackin It, you want to watch Dave and Johnny live, you want to watch all the shows that we do, you want to watch the Hell in a Cell
You sold me, Dave.
post show. We just did a Hell in a Cell show on Sunday. You can watch that over on the YouTube channel. Go to www.ringsidereport.net for more on all of that.
So much stuff, man. It's
a
crazy.
lot of stuff.
What's you and Johnny up to? Like, what are you guys talking about tomorrow? Give us like a...
Don't worry about it.
I want to hear.
I
book
don't
review,
I don't know.
90 Day Fiancé.
We'll see what Johnny has up his sleeve or
Johnny,
lack thereof. All right? So for Fred and AJ, thanks to Marco for helping us out back at TSN 690. Thanks to you for listening and watching. This has been Ringside Report.
Yeah, boy. Are we still on? Where's Johnny? You sure? Papa Simon.